Today's topic is inventory valuation. Now, today we are going to discuss solving a sum using the simple average method. Now, simple average method, by the word average, we mean simply the sum of all numbers or sum of all observation by the number of observation. That is a basic formula for average, and that is what we are going to apply in the question as well. Now see, this is the format the same as LIFO FIFO we have already known. Now see, the dates are given March 1 and the purchases and issues are given. So we will first record the first date that we have got, that is March 1st. So March 1. See, in the question it is given that on March 1 there has been a purchase of 100 units for 10 rupees each. So we are going to copy it down here. 100 units for 10 rupees each, and that will be 100 into 10, 1000. There has been no issue, so no issues, nothing. Balance amount, the same amount will be copied down here, that is 100 for 10 rupees, and it amounts to 100 into 10, 1000. Now we will move to the next date that we have got, that is March 2, and there has been a further purchase of 200 units for 10.2 each. So over here we are going to record March 2 for 200 units, and price will be 10.2. Multiply 10.2 into 200, we get 2040. No issues were made on this date. Simply we are going to write it down in the balance as well. That is 200 more is added over here. So we are going to write 200 in balance, and the price is 10.2 as we already knew, and the amount was 2040. So after this we are going to add up and write what is there with us. Right now what we have is a total of, we'll use a different color to write the total, such as violet. Okay, so 100 plus 200, we have got 300 units right now, and price column, leave it, the unit column, amount will be 3040. That is what we are left with right now. Now as of March 2, this is the entry, this is what we are left with. Now we are going to move to the next date that we have. The next date is March 5. We have got an issue. So March 5 there has been an issue of 250 units. Let's record it. March 5, no purchases, so we'll leave it blank. There has been an issue of 250 units. Now the question is, what will be the unit cost? We are following the weighted average method or the simple average method. The weights are not given, so simple average method. Simple average method. So under the simple average method, what we have to do is, see, at this point we have got these unit prices 10 and 10.2. So in order to find the unit cost here, we have to make an average, take the average of this two, that is 10 plus 10.2 divided by 2. If we do it, we are going to get 10.1. How did we get this 10.1? We got it by adding 10 and 10.2 and then dividing the whole thing with 12. This is divided by 2. Once you do it, you get this number. This is just a working. that I've shown over here. Now, once we do it, now we have to see what we are left with, that is 250 into 10.1. If you multiply it, we are going to get 2525 after multiplication. Now see, at this point, we had 300 units, 250 is gone. So what are we left with right now? We are left with only 50 more units. So at this point of time, the balance that we have will be 300 minus 250, that is 50 units. And the amount we will be left with will be 3040 minus 2525. So that will be 3040 minus 2515, 2525. So we have got 515. So we're going to write it over here. 515, and we will leave this blank. The unit cost. Now we're going to move to the next one. The next date that we have got is March 7. There has been a further purchase. So March 7 there has been a purchase and 200 units have been purchased for 10.50. So we're going to make this entry here on March 7. 200 units for 10.5 multiply 200 into 10.5, we get 2100. This is what we have got. Now there has been no issue on this date. So previously we had 50 units, right now we have more 200 units. So we are going to add it up. So we are going to add this lot here, that is of 200, and unit will be left blank, and the amount is 2100. So we are going to write it over here. And after this is done, we are going to write the total balance. So let's write the total balance. With Violet we are writing the total balance. So this is 200 and plus 50. So this will be 250. So 250, amount will be 515 and 2100. So 2100 plus 515, this comes to 2615. So 2615, it's done for March 7. Now we're going to move to the next date, that is March 10. Purchase of 300 units and it was for 10.80. So make the entry here, March 10, 300 units, 10.8, multiply 300 into 10.8, we get 3240. No issue on that date. Then we are going to write the total 250, and right now we have got 300 more units. So we're going to write it here, and the amount was 3240. Nothing to write here, 3240 here. Now we are going to write the total 250 previously we had, and right now we have got 300 more units. So we're going to write 550 over here, and the total amount will be 2615 plus 3240. So it is 2615 plus 3240, that is 5855. So we're going to write it here. 5855. So this is what we have as of March 10. Now we're going to move to March 13. There has been an issue of 200 units. March 13, issue of 200 units. I'm going to write it here. 13, no purchases. There has been only issue of 200 units. Now see, this 200 will be definitely taken away from this 550 that we have. So we have to first find out the price at which this is going to take place. So for doing this, what we have to do is we have to find the average. For finding out the average, you can see we have averages such as 10.8, 10.5 and this 10.2. Why? Because at this point of time, when 250 units were issued, this 100 is already gone. So the 50 that we are left with, that does not have any lot belonging to this 10 rupees. So that is why we can omit this 10 rupees. This is not to be taken into consideration right now. We can take 10.2, 10.5 and 10.8 to find out the average. So the number to be included will be 10.2, 10.5 and 10.8 divided by 3. Once we do it, we are getting 10.5. We're going to write it here. It is 10.5. How did we get this 10.5? We'll get it by adding 10.2 and 10.5 and 10.8 divided by 3. So this is how we have got this 10.5 working. Now what are we left with? See, we had 550 here, 200 gone. So now we are left with only 350. So we're going to write it here. $550 minus 200. That is 350. Now see, if we multiply 200 and 10.5, multiplying these two, 200 into 10.5, we get 2100, which we are going to write it here at this place, 2100. Now you see, 5855 from here, 2100 will be deducted. So let's do it. 5855 minus 2100, we get 3755. We are going to write this here. The balance 3755. We are done with it. Now we are going to move to the next date, that is on 18th. There has been a further issue. This time issue is of 200 units. So 200 units recorded here, March 18. There has been no purchases, only issue, and issue will be of 200 units. Now see, we are left with 350. Previously there was 550, which means that from this 550, when this 200 is gone, this 200 means the previous lot is gone. The previous lot, that is this. Because this 550 consists of 250 and 300. So the 200 is gone from here already, and then from here 50 is left, and from here 300 is left. So in this situation, we are going to find out the average. So the average will be, I'm going to write it over here. 10.65. How did we get this 10.65? This 10.65 is actually average of 10.5 and the additional 10.8 divided by 2. Why so? Because this 10.5 that we have is of our previous lot, and this 10.8 is of our this previous lot. Because you can see till here we have already solved and these all lots are gone. Now what we are left with is the recent lot of 10.5 and 10.8. So that is why over here we are taking these numbers, because the previous lot is over by the time we have made the previous issue. So that's when the previous issue we had included 10.2, because 50 was there existing from the previous lot. But right now the number that we have got here do not have any previous lot left. Right now here we are going to write it 10.5 plus 10.8, the recent two lots that we have, divided by 2, that comes to 10.65. Multiply 200 into 10.65. 200 into 10.65, we get 2130. So we're going to write it here. 2130. We've got 2130 now. After 2130, what are we left with? We are going to write it here. Previously we had 350 units, from this 200 is gone. So subtract 200 from 350, we get 150, which we are going to write here. 150. And we had 3755 previously, 2130 gone from there, so subtract it. 3755 minus 2130. So 3755 minus 3755 minus 2130. 2130, we get 1625. So we're going to write it here. 1625. And now we're going to move to the next date. We have got purchases on 20th. So purchase of 100 units for 11 rupees on 20th. So we'll make this entry here. On 20th, there has been a purchase of 100 units for 11 rupee per unit cost. So 11 into 100 is 1100. No issues on this date, so nothing to write here. And this entry we're going to copy over here as well. So 100 unit cost is 11. If we multiply it, we get 1100. Now we're going to write the balance here. See, we had 150 of the previous lot and 100 here. So total it is 250. And previously we had 1625 and now we have got 1100. So it amounts to 2725. 2725. Okay. Now we are left with the last date, that is issue on 25th. There has been an issue of 150 units on the last date. So we're going to write it here. March 25. No purchases. So nothing will be entered here. Only an issue of 150 units. So 150 unit. Now we have to find out the price. Right now, the average price will be previously the most recent lot that we have is C 10.8 and 11. Because right now we are only left with 250 units, and this 250 consists of 100 from this lot and the rest from just its previous lot, that is the 10.8 lot. So that is why we are going to find the average of 10.8 and 100, that is 10.8 and 11, because previous lots are over. So right now, because this 150 that we are issuing right now is being issued from this 11 rupees lot and this 10.8 rupees lot, so we are going to find the average of 10.8 and 11. So let's do it. 10.8 and 11. We'll find the average. 10.8 plus 11, that is 21.8, divided by 2. It is 10.9, so we're going to write it over here. 10.9. Now this 10.9 into 150, so 10.9 into 150 amounts to 1635. We are going to write it here. 1635. Now see, once we do it, 150 is issued, so it's gone from 250. So what are we left with? The balance we are going to write. The balance will be 150 minus 250 minus 150, that is 100, and the amount we will be left with will be 2725 minus 1635. So 2725 minus 1635, that is 1090 is the amount we are left with. So we are going to write it here. 100 units for 1090. So according to the simple average method, the inventory valuation will be of 100 units and the price will be 1090. So we're going to write it over here. Therefore, inventory valuation this is under the average method. Average method is equal to, it will be 100 units and the unit price is 100 units for is which is equal to 1090 rupees. This is my amount. If we have to find out the average unit price right now, so we are going to simply divide 1090 by 100. If we do it, we are asked to find out the unit price of the stock left, closing stock, then 1090 by 100, which will be rupees 10.90.